Most of you probably know the story of Cinderella, poor girl mistreated by her stepmom that manages to marry her Prince Charming. Well, that's Charles Perrault's version that Disney based the movie on, but it isn't the only story that was written. The Grimm brothers published their own creepy version of Cinderella in 1812. This story originates in ancient Egypt, but that's enough for a whole other video. In the Grimm story, Cinderella's mum dies and she visits her grave every day at her garden. Her father then marries to another woman who has 2 daughters. The 3 of them make her life miserable. For now, the Disney story is pretty much the same. One day, the prince organizes a 3-day ball, better than gypsy weddings. Cinderella magically gets a beautiful dress and ends up in the palace dancing with the prince. But she never tells him her name and leaves before 12. She did the same on the 2nd night, and on the 3rd, the prince put glue on the stairs so Cinderella couldn't escape and he could know more about her. This didn't work though, as she escaped leaving only a slipper behind. As you know, the prince was a real softie, so he traveled the whole town looking for the owner of the slipper. Here comes the grotesque part of the story. He gets to Cinderella's house and meets her stepsisters. He tries the slipper on the eldest one, and when it doesn't fit, her mum forces her to cut off 2 toes. "Don't worry," she said, "when you're queen, you won't need to walk." The slipper finally fit, and when she was already on her way to the palace, a little bird tells on her, and the prince realizes the girl's foot is dripping blood. He then tries the slipper on the other sister, and when her foot doesn't fit either, her mum cuts off her heel. "Don't you worry," she said, "you won't need to walk when you're queen." The slipper fits, but on their way to the palace, the prince realizes the pain she's in and how the slipper is once again dripping blood. Since it was the last house, the prince asked the father if he had another daughter, and this time, Cinderella showed up. As soon as he saw her, the prince was certain it was her. The slipper fit perfectly and they left immediately to make their engagement official in palace. The wedding was almost as bloody as the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones. The 2 stepsisters, who apparently didn't have enough with losing 2 toes and a heel, were attacked by birds who picked at their eyes, leaving them blind. We didn't know this version of Cinderella, but apparently it was very successful at the time. Subscribe to this channel if you think Disney should have also made a creepy version of their tales, and leave us in the comment section down below which tales you'd like to hear from us next. See you in the next video!